This week on the Analog Circle podcast, Neil Druckmann has confirmed that Naughty Dog is working on more than just Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. They have quite a few titles that are in the works. Nintendo is trying to take away your ability to file or join a class action lawsuit against their company. Oh, y'all know Nintendo keeps pushing the line time and time again, but we will discuss. Xbox has been getting hit with a lot of good news lately. These jokers even came away with an exclusive that had been revealed earlier this week, and Xbox Game Pass is getting a dope brand new feature. And the new Tomb Raider could be releasing very, very soon, according to reports. But all of these stories can be found here and many more in episode 258 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, sit down and relax, because we're going to have a great conversation today. And if you are traveling, hopefully we can accompany you to your destination. Now, with that being said, if you want to be a part of listener feedback, you can do it two different ways. You can either call in. Now, this is the thing. The phone number is actually changed. So if any of you guys have been calling the old number, my apologies. Things got mixed up on their end, not on mine, where the number was not working anymore. So this is the new number if you do want to get in contact with the show and be a part of the conversation. It is now 667-284-9057. Or if you want to email the show, you can simply email the show by using the name of the show. It is no doubt the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into what we all come here for, and that is the gaming news that went down. So let's get things started with a quick story this week. Matter of fact, I got this story from Game Rant. So according to Polish gaming site PPE, it is a rumor that Xbox will have a limited amount of Gears of War Reloaded physical copies available. Now, they were saying that the quantities could be likened to the physical quantities of Indiana Jones. Now, some of you guys might not know exactly what I'm talking about here, but Gears of War Reloaded had been said to only be releasing on Xbox digitally only about 2 weeks ago, and it was going to be physically available for PlayStation 5 owners. So now it seems like that narrative might be shifting again, according to the Polish gaming website PPE. They're saying that physical copies will be coming on the Xbox side, but in very limited quantities. Let's go ahead and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Insider Gaming. So according to sources familiar with Assassin's Creed Shadow development, the upcoming DLC entitled Claws of Awaji. That's what I'm calling it. Awaji. It's spelled A-W-A-J-I. Y'all tell me what it might be. But they are saying that that DLC will release somewhere around October. Now, it was also said that this had actually got pushed back a little bit. So yeah, just be on the lookout for this to come out in October, and it will contain around, now this is dope, it's going to contain around 10 plus hours of content, including a new weapon type, skills, abilities, and gear to be all included in that package. Now, they are also working on a co-op mode. Now, the name of this is a code name League, and that will release next year. So you got to wait a little bit for that one, but doggone, the way the year's going, we're already almost midway through. June is what, next week? Sometime, so it won't be too much longer until next year is here, and that this co-op mode will be releasing. But again, according to one source, this co-op mode will expand past just being able to play as Naoi and Yusik. I probably didn't pronounce her name right, but yeah, her and Yusik, it seems like it's going to go past them, and it'll be a deeper narrative tied into the co-op that will expand the experience beyond, again, just the two of them. So that is actually really, really dope. Again, I have not picked up Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm definitely going to get it. My backlog, golly. Let me tell you something. On a side note, just speaking about that, did you guys know that Best Buy and GameStop, even if you have a gift card to their stores, will not let you use that gift card to get a PlayStation store card or a Xbox game store card? These jokers had to tell me, look, I went up there, I said, look, I need to get me some PlayStation points. I mean, not points, but dollars, because I want to pick up this game. Deliver at all costs. That game, I told y'all, as soon as that came out, I had to get that one. Deliver at all costs. So I said, look, I got this gift card. Can I use it to get these PlayStation, this PlayStation store card? Them jokers told me no. They said, we can't give that to you because you might return it and, you might try to get your money back.
What did he say?
I said, what? No, I want to use my Best Buy gift card to get this, so I can go home and buy this game. It's only available digitally. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't allow you to do that. I'm saying to myself, what is the difference? He basically was trying to bring it down where, look, somebody could return the gift card that may not want the gift card, and they could return it and get their money back, and Best Buy wouldn't get any of the money. I was like, I mean, what's the difference between somebody being mad about something that somebody got them, I don't know, a laptop or something like that? What's to stop them from wanting to get their money back from that? Now, again, you could say, well, we'll just give you store credit for that. I'm saying, why won't you just give the person store credit for the card that they don't want? That really made me real upset. I was really banking on that joint so I could, not have to come out of pocket with my money. Having all of this money on this Best Buy card, these jokers said no. I was highly upset. Went to GameStop, got money on a gift card for them. Them jokers told me the same thing. Oh, man. Oh, wow. You want to get PlayStation store card? Oh, man. We can't do that. Same exact reason. Y'all need to change that darn policy. But I did go. Now, shout out to them. I did go to Micro Center, and Micro Center let me use my doggone card without any darn question. Shout out to them. So if you want to get the cards, any gift cards, go to Micro Center. It ain't no problems. No problems. But anyway, let's go ahead, though. Oh, before we get off of the Assassin's Creed situation, like I said, this is great. This game has been selling very, very well lately, too. So I'm just very happy to see and hear not just the progress, but the positive feedback that the game has been getting, especially since in the beginning. God, dog, the vitriol of it all. Vitriol, is that the right word? I don't know. But the anger and the upsetness of people, around this game with Yusik, man, I can't pronounce the brother name, but man, they was hot. Can't believe you got this guy in here in feudal Japan from back in the day. How is he even accurate historically? I said again, how the heck, when has Assassin's Creed ever been historically correct? Here it is. This actually was a real... Anyway, man, let's go ahead for the sake of time, brothers and sisters. We're going to go ahead and move on in to the next story. Now, according to Ampere, analysts, or I should say, analysis. Now, this is interesting for you Xbox brothers and sisters still holding on to the hope of your console. This is actually positive news. Like I said, y'all got a couple wins this week. So again, according to Ampere analysis, Doom: The Dark Ages has reached 3 million players in 5 days, where Xbox platforms lead the pack at over 2 million players. Golly, 2 million. Woo! Y'all jokers showed up for that, didn't y'all? Man, let me tell you something. That Doom, I definitely want to get my hands on it, get my grubby paws on it eventually, but let me continue with this story. So y'all came out the gate real strong, over 2 million players. Now on PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 5, I will say, this is the leader. PlayStation is the leader in the clubhouse when it comes to the consoles. They are number one. But this time they said that, Doom on the PlayStation 5 has about 500,000 players. Oh, man. 500,000 on the PlayStation, the big bad PlayStation 5, the console that I absolutely love. It has been phenomenal to me, but I will say 500,000, and it's over 70 million. PlayStation 5s out here, I don't know. Now you can say, well, Kiaun, did you buy the game? I absolutely didn't. I did not. Am I planning on buying the game? Of course I am. Of course. I definitely will be buying it. Y'all know my gaming habits by now. Newer games, certain new games that come out that I want to get, I don't get day and date. Some of them I just have to wait on. And it's simply because either one, I don't have the money. Because, man, brother be broke. I can tell you that for sure. Either one, I don't have the money at the time, or two, I'm actually caught up into another game, or I know another game is coming out that I'm going to want to get and play, and it exceeds, that game that I want to check out at a later time. So, I mean, again, like I said, I got Astro Bot, got Stellar Blade, even got Harry Potter Hogwarts. These are games that I still have not played. I got Warhammer, the second one, that just came out last year. I got plenty of games that are just in my backlog. Sometimes it just takes me a while to get them, depending on what it is. But Doom is definitely going to be one of those games that's going to fall in the latter stages of me actually being able to pick it up. I am excited for it. I heard it is a fantastic game. Absolutely awesome, but I'm just going to kind of wait on it. I've never been the biggest Doom fan. I'm not going to say I've not been a fan of Doom. I've been a fan of Doom since it was only available on the PC back in the mid 90s, I believe it was. I was a big fan of it when it used to be called it wasn't shovelware, but I used to go to this spot. If you're from Baltimore, you are all familiar with Patapsco Flea Market. So I used to go there back in the day, like in the 90s, where, man, this was so long ago, you only had to pay $0.25 to get inside. God, oh, man, yeah, I'm dating myself. God, dog. Back in the day, you just had to pay $0.25 to get inside.
What did he say?
Man, nowadays, I can't tell you how much it costs to get in there. But I used to go in there and I would pick up different PC games. Now, these weren't the, how can I say, these weren't the real copies of the PC games. Now, at that time, I didn't know. I'm a teenager. They're selling them for cheap. I'm like, man, I'll pick that up. And I remember during that time, the guy said, hey, you want to pick this up? This is that new Doom or whatever. And it was on a floppy disk. Now, not the 5 1/4 one, but the 3 1/2 inch floppy disk, the smaller ones that had the hard case shell. And I picked it up and played it. I was like, man, my PC was struggling to actually play it. Frame rate was all over the place. But I said, wow, this looks good. So, and it played pretty good too, despite the frame rate, But so I've been rocking with Doom for quite some time, but it's never been a day one for me. So I am looking forward to this. God dog, this Joker looks good though. It looks so darn good. And I'm definitely going to pick it up. Very much so excited about it. Matter of fact, have any of y'all, I got to say this. Now, you Xbox Game Pass brothers and sisters is with it right now. Y'all are with it because we know for a fact when those numbers come out of how many people bought Doom on the Series X and S, those numbers ain't going to be close to 2 million. We know that y'all eating real healthy right now. Over on Game Pass after all of these years, I'm not even going to say healthy. Y'all eating healthy with an F. Y'all jokers are really, really eating a buffet of great games over there on Game Pass. So I need to know how many of y'all have been playing Doom, the Dark Ages, and how do you feel about the game? Because it seems like they got a winner, an absolute winner on their hands, and I am excited just to hear, you guys' thoughts on what the game is. Matter of fact, I don't know if I should shout them out. I talked to somebody earlier last week about Doom, and they were telling me that, man, this game is so much fun. They've been having just a ball with it, and they're not even a big fan. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shout them out, man. Shout out to Mastino. That Mastino. This brother's a triple OG as well. He's been around since the beginning too. Shout out to you, brother. Yeah, Mastino said that Doom is pretty doggone amazing. So I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts are on that. But the other thing that I wanted to say before we wrap up this story about Doom is PC numbers were not necessarily, they weren't reported, but they said the PC numbers were, quote, a bit on the low side, end of quote. So, for this to have started out on PC, and to hear that y'all numbers are real shaky and not that well received. Hey, could it be a situation, you PC brothers and sisters? Oh man, could it be a situation that your PC can't run it? Could it be that you just don't have the graphics card that's necessary to run these types of games? Whereas if you were on the console side, brothers and sisters, you would be in a much better position as far as playing the games because you can set it and forget it on console. I'm just curious to know, am I throwing shots? Yes! I absolutely am throwing shots at the PC brothers and sisters. I want to know, how come y'all didn't go out there and support Doom like y'all should have? I mean, it is hundreds of millions of y'all on Steam, the last I was told. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on in to the next story. I'm just having some fun with y'all, brothers. That's all. But let's go ahead, man, and let's get into the story that I actually got from Games Radar. So let's talk about the legend. I know I give him a lot of grief. Oh man, I talk about him, say I don't think he got it no more, but he is a legend at the end of the day. Let's talk about him. Hideo Kojima. I gotta say, Mr. Hideo Kojima. So we know in a few weeks, that Death Stranding 2 will be releasing. But as most very creative people do, Kojima is on to the next project. Now, Hideo sat down with a French magazine and told them that his upcoming Metal Gear spiritual successor, which is named Sphinx, is still, quote, another 5 or 6 years away, end of quote. But that's not all. Now, he revealed he also said that he has planned out ideas to leave behind. Now, this is some Walt Disney type of stuff. He has ideas that he has planned to leave behind after he's gone. Now, matter of fact, I'm thinking about that. He actually said one of the ideas that he had, I had read about it in that article, was he was gonna make this game where the character would forget, like his moves and the different things that he was able to do, his abilities, depending on how long you actually stayed away from the game. So if you didn't play the game for a couple of months and you actually, now this is what I'm surmising, he didn't say exactly this would be the layout, but I'm thinking that if the character is going to, forget a lot of his abilities, the longer you're away from the game, it could be a situation where, man, you were gone for like 3 or 4 months. You pick it back up. Your character's like, I don't remember how to do a doggone thing. So we got to go through the learning phase all over again. I think it's a very interesting thought. I just don't think if he is going to use it or if someone else is going to take his idea and use it, I think you gotta have a nice even balance. But it's those kind of things that make Kojima just so very, very interesting with some of his thoughts and things that he likes to put into his games. But the other thing that he had mentioned, like I said, he's going to want to leave some things behind, after he's gone. Now, just to circle back to what he's working on again, it's Spent, which is quote. Now, this is going to be an action espionage, end of quote, genre game. And he's also working on, and this is something that we haven't heard about in a while now. He's also working on OD, which falls under the horror genre, where he will be working with Jordan Peele in Xbox Game Studios. Now, after that, lastly, Kojima said, after those projects are done, he said, quote, maybe after that, I could finally decide to take on a film, end of quote. Now, that would be interesting, seeing Kojima in the directorial, the director's chair of a movie, of a film. What the heck does that look like? And how does that story look? Because Kojima, man, as much as I love him and respect him and appreciate him, some of these storylines, whoa, brothers and sisters, they go off the rails. Lolly loo lay low. Man, it sounds slick, but I didn't get it. I couldn't understand. I played the game and beat it and was still confused on the lolly loo lay low. I mean, what were they? Some kind of, not a society, but some upper crust. Man, anyway, I'm not getting into that. But, Kojima, he is definitely, pretty filled up with, the things that he has to work on. So again, if any of you guys were interested in Spent, his, action espionage game, this the spiritual successor of Metal Gear, still going to be quite a while away, 5 or 6 years. And OD, which was announced before Spent, if I'm not mistaken, we don't know when the heck that's coming. So it's going to be quite a while. But the thing I will say is that Death Stranding 2, this is another game that, I might have to pick this one up. God, dog, I might have to get this one. Now, is it going to be a day one? I don't think so. I got to be honest. I don't think so. My backlog is stupid right now. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I keep on buying more games to add to the back catalog. Like I said, I just picked up yesterday, Deliver at All Costs. Now, that's going to be a smaller title. I don't think I'm going to be in that 20, 30 hours. That game is probably going to be about 10 hours long, and I'll be jumping on that after I get finished with Days Gone. God, dog, let me tell you something about Days Gone. Days Gone. I am literally 44 hours into that game, and it keeps on going. This game keeps going. I had 27 hours on my original save. I got 17 hours on the remastered edition of the game. You add the 27 and the 17, that's 37, 38, 9, 41, 2, 3, 4, 44 hours. And I think I'm finally starting to get to the end of the game. But I will say this. Sony Bend Studios, man, I got to put some respect on their name. They have made something amazing here. Oh, man. Days Gone is one of those, brothers and sisters. Golly. Man, it is certain story plots and things that are happening with these different characters. Some one-liners in the game. Oh, man, there was this one scene. Man, I can't ruin it. I can't ruin it because this is, like I said, it just came out with the remaster. Some people are playing through it. Oh, but it was this one scene. Oh, my goodness, it was so dope. I will say it involved a shotgun, and it was a cut scene. And what the person said was just so cold-blooded, but it was so greatly timed. It was such perfect timing. Oh, man, that game, I gotta say, listen, Sony Bend has always been one of those studios in the background, like, we don't pay attention to y'all too much. Y'all are just siphon filter. But I will say, man, after playing Days Gone, and again, I haven't beat it yet, but I'm 44 hours in. I think I can talk about the game at a pretty good length. They got something. Sony Bend is a great, and I do mean great studio. I mean, I think that when we think of Sony's top tier, upper echelon talent, I think that everybody always goes to Naughty Dog. They're at top of the mountain. They're at the top. Then Sony Santa Monica, number 2, and Insomniac. I think those are the studios that most of us think about. Some people may say Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is up there as well. But I'm talking about top 3. I think you gotta put Insomniac in there just for the fact that these guys make games at a fast clip and they are AAA quality. Yeah, they've kind of calmed down a little bit lately, but those guys, their output is amazing. Unless you're talking about Wolverine. God, dog, I don't know what's going on with that game. But those are the top 3 studios, I think, that most of us would say. And I'm not trying to speak for y'all. I am curious to know what y'all think the top three studios are over at Sony. But for me, Sony Bend, man, they got to be 4th right now. They got to be 4th. They got to be top 5. Top 5. Now, I understand they need a longer resume. That's the only knock against them. I might be jumping the gun just a little bit. I might be caught up in the Days Gone situation and the things that I've seen and played that really have me feeling this way. So I will say that they have the potential to be a top 5 studio over there at Sony. And they could possibly, depending on what they do, they could possibly slip into a top 3 slot if they were to continue doing things at the clip that they were able to do them at with Days Gone. That game has been awesome. But anyway, I've been long-winded enough. We got a lot more to go. So let me go ahead and let me speed it up a little bit. Let's go on into the next story that I got from Insider Gaming. So some interesting Metroid news has been discovered by Chizai Watch, which is spelled Chizai Watch. Now, both Metroid Prime Hunters, which was released for the DS, and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which was released back in 2007 for the Wii, have both had their trademarks renewed. Now, this could mean a few things. Either it's a simple case of the trademarks were going to expire and they had to renew them to stop someone else, of course, from acquiring the name. Or, now this is the part that I'm hoping is true, or could we possibly have some remastered versions of possible remakes on the way? Now, only time will tell, but in the past, not the very distant past, we saw that Nintendo made Metroid Prime remastered. out of the blue, that Joker came out. So who's to say that they may not do the same for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, or even, again, Metroid Prime Hunters, which was available on the DS. We'll just have to wait and see. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next story that I got from The Gamer. So we haven't seen a new Tomb Raider game in almost 10 years. By the way, it's definitely not new now, but that trilogy of Tomb Raider games, the newer ones, the most recent ones that came out, man, I love those. Those were amazing. Absolutely incredible. Well, let me continue on. So we haven't heard, we have heard in the past that a new Tomb Raider is being worked on involving Amazon and Crystal Dynamics. But now, according to a job listing, the project could be nearing its completion of development. So Crystal Dynamics are looking for a senior level designer who will, quote, spearhead strike teams as a high impact individual contributor, end of quote. Now, the reason why I mentioned the game possibly being near its finish line is because strike teams can mean that a game is in the final stages of development, as explained in Game Developers Postcard from GDC Europe. Now, they usually bring in strike teams as a short-term cross-discipline group of developers to laser in. That's right. That's their job. They got the laser in on a high priority issue, such as the game being unstable or needing to be optimized so that it can be play tested. Now, they also drop all responsibilities. I mean, these jokers, like I said, they are laser focused. They drop all responsibilities to focus on one area of a game. So again, strike teams are often used towards the end of development, but because there's always two sides of the coin, but to be fair, got to be fair here, they can also be used in the alpha stage. So hopefully we can find out what stage the next Tomb Raider is in sooner than later. I'm tending to think, I believe, now again, y'all know how it goes, man. If I really want something to happen, I think all of us feel like, man, we want to lean on the side of positivity. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right side to be on, because reality will always kick in eventually and tell you exactly what's going on. But for me, I lean on the side that we've been hearing about this Tomb Raider game for a while now. It's been a good couple years now that we've been hearing that this game has been in development. So with them having these strike teams that are there, and knowing the strike teams, they come in towards the end of the development, they're coming into laser focus on certain things and just trying to get the project done, trying to work on a certain thing to get the game to the play testing stage, things of that nature. I'm leaning on the side that I think this is going to come out sooner than later. Now, again, we got Microsoft coming up next month. Golly, they holding the torch. They're holding the torch for E3 season. I don't see Nintendo out there. I think Nintendo said they're not going to be there. The next show they're going to be at, I can't even remember. But they're not going to be there. I thought they would, but I guess April was their show. And PlayStation has not made any announcements yet. So Xbox stands alone yet again for the E3 season. Who knows if they are the only one on the stage? Then maybe, just maybe, Crystal Dynamics, along with Amazon, give the trailer, the gameplay, some kind of announcement to Xbox to let the world know. Because that's one thing about the Xbox showcase, unfortunately, is they've already said that during their shows, they're going to tell you what games are going to other platforms. So if it is going to PlayStation, they would probably say on their own stage. stage. This is going to PlayStation 5. This is going to Nintendo Switch 2. So it would make sense if it's only them that are going to be there, that if this is the year they want to talk about it, then we may see it on Xbox's stage. But as always, only time will tell. Let's get into the next story that I got from VGC, and this is a hot one. Now, Neil Druckmann has confirmed that he is working on at least 2 projects, and also confirmed that he is producing an unannounced game alongside Intergalactic to the press. Now, this is the thing. He said this to Press X. This is the people that he talked to, Press X to Continue podcast. He told them, and I quote, "We have several directors on Intergalactic. I work with 2 game directors, Matthew Gallant and Kurt Maragawa. And I feel like I didn't say his name right. It's spelled Margenau. Margenau. Man, listen, I ain't even going to get caught up in it. That brother right there, shout out to you. I'm sorry, I might have pronounced your name incorrectly. But he says, and I have a co-writer in Claire Care, K-C-A-R-R-E, Care. So there are times when I'm away. Yeah, I'm going to keep moving. There are times when I'm away and they are in charge, and I get to come back and be surprised and enjoy certain choices they made. And other ones I pull my hair out over, and we have to change course and argue about it. Then there's another game that's being worked on at Naughty Dog where I'm in more of a producer role, and I get to mentor, watch this other team and give feedback and be the executive in the room. I enjoy all those roles, and the fact that I jump from one to the next makes my job very exciting and always feeling fresh. I'm never bored." End of quote. Now, we also shed a little more light on how Naughty Dog handles multiple projects at once. He says, quote, "We definitely have multiple projects, but only one that is getting the lion's share of focus at any time. We don't have 2 projects that have several hundred people on them. We have one project and then some that are in pre-production or maybe just creeping out of production, but we'll have to wait until the main focus has completed before we move everybody off that project." End of quote. So here it is. Now, this is the thing we heard years ago, back when The Last of Us was being developed, and Neil Druckmann just literally confirmed it, that they had a small team as they were working on Uncharted. Was it Uncharted 3? I believe it was Uncharted 3. Maybe it had to be 3 because 4 was on the PlayStation 4. But the story was, as they were working on one of those Uncharted, I can't quite remember, it was a smaller team that was actually starting work on The Last of Us as they were working on Uncharted 3. I'm going to say Uncharted 3. So they had split the teams up, got the smaller team to get the groundwork going, get everything, in order, before everybody finished with Uncharted 3. Then as they finished, everybody rolled over. The whole studio rolled over and started working on The Last of Us. And we see again, Naughty Dog is a top tier studio. These jokers could be top 3 of all time right now. As far as if you put all the other studios out there, your rock stars, whatever, different labels are under EA, Ubisoft, all of their different teams that they have, and you put them out there against Naughty Dog, I'm telling you, man, I truly think they are still top 3. Bare minimum. Nah, they're top 3. I'm not even going to say top 5. Top 3 out there. So we know that their work is unbelievable. And maybe I'm talking like this because I was such a big fan. Well, I wasn't a huge fan of Uncharted 4. I felt like Uncharted 4 was a little boring. at times. It's too much talking, not enough action going on. But the graphics and the things that they were able to do, the storytelling was still good. It was solid. It was very well done. But Uncharted 4 was not one of my favorites. But then when you go to The Last of Us was, man, that was a really, really good game. Great game even. Not as good as people made it out to be. I didn't think it was as amazing as everybody had said that it was, but solid game. But when you circle around to The Last of Us Part 2, whoo, man, now you are talking on a different level. Jokers dropped a bombshell on me with that one. So from that point in time, I said, these jokers can't do no wrong. The detail was so immense in The Last of Us Part 2 that storytelling was fantastic. So I said, look, these guys got it, but I say all of that to say that knowing their pedigree of what they've been able to do, this works for them. Once they finish a project, they bring the rest of the team on and they, continue to move forward with it. So this also confirms something else that we went over a while ago, might have been a couple of months ago at this point, that Naughty Dog was working on several different projects. One of them they said was going to be like not a RPG per se, but something that could be taking place back in like the medieval times or something of that nature. So who knows at this point? You had to go back quite a few episodes to catch that one. I can't even remember which episode it was, but it was these different projects that were being reported they were working on and the genres of the projects that were being worked on as well. So seems like, again, Neil Druckmann is giving us a little bit of light to those rumors actually being true. Now, again, how long is it going to be before we actually see these other projects outside of Intergalactic? The Heretic Prophet is probably going to be a good while because we haven't seen anything from Naughty Dog this whole generation. I'm not including The Last of Us as much as I love it. I'm not including The Last of Us Part 2 remastered as a game for this generation or them remaking The Last of Us. I'm not giving you that pass at all. We want new IPs. And Naughty Dog, we want them from you because you do such a fantastic job. So yeah, to me, they have not released anything this generation thus far. So we'll have to see how much longer it's going to take. Can you imagine that we are really looking at a real situation where Naughty Dog has released one new game for this whole generation? One game for the whole entire generation. That is absolutely. But wait, it gets worse. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But look, I'm not going to harp on it. It's great to hear that they are busy at work. Glad to hear it. Neil Druckmann, he's one of the best out there. Naughty Dog, absolutely top tier. Can't wait to hear what these other two projects are going to be. Him being in a more of a producer role on one, and then the other one, he's more hands-on. So very, very interested. We had also heard, before we get off of Naughty Dog, we did hear that it was Sean Eskeg. He was actually the director, well, allegedly the director on one of these projects. Now, he had actually worked on the Avengers years ago, but he also worked on The Last of Us Part 2 as well. And I was saying that, yeah, he got that X on his record a little bit, that red X, but he did work on The Last of Us Part 2, one of the greatest game of last generation for me. So I definitely have some faith in him. And again, with him coming out, Neil Druckmann saying that they have multiple things in the works, maybe that's the game that he is working on, but we shall see. Let's get on into the next story that I got from GameSpot. So one of the biggest questions in gaming, I think everybody's asking this. One of the biggest questions in gaming is, how much is GTA 6 going to cost? Goodness gracious. Everybody, a lot of people have already made up their mind. It's going to be $100, $100. And it's not even going to be a limited edition. That's going to be the standard. I mean, God dog, I hope not. But let me get into this story. So, according to, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick, he gave a little insight on how their pricing structure actually works. Now, Strauss said on Take-Two's latest earnings call that Take-Two's individual labels set prices and it won't be consistent. And it was mentioned that 2K Games is charging $50 for Mafia, the Old Country, because the company wants to, quote, get it into as many hands as we possibly can, end of quote. As opposed to other games under the 2K banner being more expensive, like, dog, this brother catching bullets everywhere. I mean, this joker came out there and said what he said. If you are a real fan, you will support the game. That doggone Randy Pitchford got out there and he got lit up. That brother said that they said, no, sir. Jokers was mad. I mean, anger on a whole different level. Them dope jokers dumped the whole clip out on Randy. He said, how you gonna come out here and tell us that if we're a real fan, we'll pay the $80? Who are you, Randy? Coming out here telling me what my pockets can afford. But the thing is, some people called him, he was out of touch. They said this joker been rich for too long. He been getting money too long. So he's just detached from reality. Now, the truth is, look, listen, man, we all know Randy, man, this brother had a dark past. You know, a couple things Randy has done and, been caught out there with, Randy might not, he might not have been the right messenger for this situation. He might not have been the right person to send out here and tell everybody else, if you're a fan, you pay for this. The thing is, though, even though he wasn't the right messenger, his message, it is kind of true. And I hate to admit it, God dog, and I hate it. If it's a situation where, and this is human nature is, if it doesn't concern me, most humans don't give a doggone. We move on with our day. It's not that we're trying to be cold-hearted, but it's like, I ain't got nothing to do with me. And that's the thing. For people who don't care about Borderlands, who see it like I see it as a shooter that I just never could get into, just wasn't my, it just wasn't my spiel, wasn't my thing. It's easy to say, man, darn that $80. I'm not picking that up. Are you crazy? $80 for Borderlands, man, skip. I'm not getting that. I will skip over it. You're not getting my $80. Randy, you are wildin'. I'm not going to support your game. But now, Randy, if Randy came out there, not even Randy, if Neil Druckmann came out there and said, look, man, The Last of Us Part 3 is going to be $80 and a real fan is going to support it, man, my brow going to start sweating. I'm going to be sitting down or standing up, and my brow was going to start sweating from the side because I'm going to start saying, man, I don't know. I do want The Last of Us Part 3. I want to know how this thing goes. But this is $80, and I don't want to spend that $80. But if I can only spend $80, and that's the only way I'm going to get the game, and I want to play it right away, I got to get that 80. I got to get that 80 up out the bank. I got to give it to him. So again, all of this stuff, it's individually based. Again, Randy, he wasn't wrong for the statement. He was just the wrong messenger at the end of the day. But anyway, just getting back to the story though. At the end of it, what Zelnick is saying is, well, not Zelnick, but Randy Pitchford. I mean, what he was saying was true, but it'll be up to Now, Zelnick, yeah, I do actually want to talk about him. Now, if what Zelnick is saying is true, like I said, him saying that the labels set the individual labels set the prices of the games. With that being said, it'll be up to Rockstar themselves to set the price of the entry, of how much the entry price will be to GTA 6. Now, and that's interesting because it's not going to be the suits that do it, according to Strauss Zelnick. So, to that point, Strauss said something, telling. He said, quote, our view. I kind of butchered the way that I said that, but he really had an interesting point, the way that Zelnick actually looks at these games and their releases and how much they cost. Because Zelnick said this. He said, quote, our view is that if you create a huge hit and everyone wants it and everyone buys it, the revenue is going to take care of itself. End of quote. So he's under the mindset. Now, again, Strauss Zelnick, he is not a gamer. He said that he's not a gamer. So his mindset is this. Look, if we make a good product and if everyone wants that product, man, the revenue is going to take care of itself. If everybody wants it, everybody buys it, pretty much the numbers will take care of themselves. But we have to concentrate on making a product that everybody wants, which is exactly what everybody should and most are doing. They know that you got to make a good product in order to sell it, in order to get the buzz going, in order to get the sales. So it seems like for him, Strauss Zelnick, this dude ain't stressing over nothing. He knows that GTA 6 is going to be crazy successful. I believe that at $50, Mafia, the Old Country. Now, I will be picking that up on day one. 100%. That is a game I'm willing to drop anything that I'm playing for. So that is a day one for me. That one right there for sure. That's going to sell, I think, very well. I think that's going to sell really well for two reasons. One, there's a lot of Mafia fans out there like myself. And two, I think that gamers, I'm not going to say gamers as a whole, but some gamers are going to feel compelled to actually support that $50 to let the industry know that at this price point, we will buy your game. This is the price point that we like. So that's what I'm hoping, at least, will be the takeaway when it comes to Mafia, the Old Country, if it is a game that you're looking forward to. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next story for the sake of time that I actually got from Games Radar. So y'all know Nintendo, God doggone Nintendo. They will try multiple things just to see if they can get away with it. And the newest thing on the list is in their EULA, or what is known as the End User License Agreement. Now, this is found in Clause 16, where Nintendo is asking users to agree to waive their rights, to waive their rights to join a class action lawsuit. I said, what? You got to be kidding me.
Shut up. Did I say? Say it again. Say something else. Say something else. Say something else.
Nintendo is, God dog. These jokers don't give a daggone, man. Here it is. They are telling you, look, man, y'all got to waive the right to join a class action lawsuit against us. So basically, Nintendo, this is what's going on. Nintendo is trying to avoid another DriftCon situation. Now, the agreement reads as follows. It says, quote, this arbitration provision precludes you and Nintendo from suing in court, having a trial by jury, or participating in a class action. Participating in a class action. You and Nintendo agree that arbitration will be solely on an individual basis and not as a class arbitration, class action, or any other kind of representative proceeding. you and Nintendo are each waiving the right to trial by jury. End of quote. So in essence, clause 16, it aims to funnel legal disputes. This is what it's doing. In essence, it is aiming to funnel legal disputes into arbitration rather than traditional court proceedings, particularly limiting users' ability to participate in class action lawsuits. So if you have a problem, this is pretty much what's going to happen. If you have a problem, you got to contact Nintendo customer service to try and resolve your issue. Is pretty much your only recourse. But once that happens, then you can go to arbitration where two or more parties in a dispute agree to have their case heard and decided by a neutral third party known as an arbitrator. I said, listen, man, I know what it's like to have to go to this doggone dispute and having to not have your case actually listened to in front of a judge. When you go to those to that arbitration, that is bull crap. It's bogus because the one person, they can flake on you. They can flake, they can keep flaking and not show up. And this is Nintendo. They have the money to do it. They have the resources to be able to do it. Here it is. They want you to call up customer service and tell them, look, man, Nintendo, I'm having an issue. How can we resolve this? Last I checked, did the drift situation ever get fully worked out in the end? Did they actually do the right thing in the end? I don't know. Thankfully, my Joy-Cons never had any drift issues, but I heard that case was going on for a long time. So here it is, Nintendo, man. These jokers really think they Disney. They really feel like they are Disney. Now, I've said time and time again, not just me, but millions of other people have likened them to Disney and said that they are the gaming version of Disney. But my gosh, here it is. They want you to say, look, man, we ain't going to take any class action lawsuits. We'll just go to arbitration and then expecting for a third party to be fair, man. See, with Nintendo, you just never know. They can hide. I'm not saying they can. Maybe legally. Man, listen, the law is bogus. Okay? The law is really made for people that have the money to be able to fight the law. If you got millions upon millions of dollars, none of us would be surprised as to what you can get away with. People have literally got away with murder. Actual cold-blooded murder because they had the money to do so. And I ain't even talking about just O.J. Simpson. It's been multiple other people that have got away. Well, they said he wasn't guilty. So, I mean, I ain't going to put that out there. That brother's passed away now. I take that back. Let me take him off the table. But we have seen multiple cases where people have been charged with certain things and they had the money to fight it and they get off. So here it is. You think that the average person or the person that knows what Nintendo has done in the past is going to trust this? Man, Nintendo ain't going to do a darn thing. If you have issues with what's going on and you sign this agreement, which I'm sure it's going to be in there when you got to go through the terms and all of that stuff, and you hit the check mark at the bottom, it's going to be something where you can't continue on until you check it. Man, this is wildness. Didn't Disney actually have a case? I think I don't want to remember it incorrectly, but it seemed like it was a severe case that happened where they were trying to sue Disney, and Disney through their Disney Plus or something actually had something inside of their agreements that said that you can't sue Disney or something like that. I'm like, wow, it's nuts. But this is where we are with Nintendo right now. These jokers said, we don't want any more class action lawsuits. Sign that dog on paper. Hit that check mark. And if you got problems, you call us. Man, how many of y'all trust Nintendo? I darn sure don't. I'll be curious to know how this goes, though, man. And I can tell you how it's going to go. It's going to go badly. For anybody that has some problems with Nintendo, they got the Joy-Con drift, the Switch is messing up or whatever the case may be, and they don't have a warranty, or, whatever. This is problems. This is a dangerous place to be. Now I'm not there ain't no fear mongering, none of that, but God dog, they are literally telling you, we want to take away your right to, be able to do a class action lawsuit. And we want to go to arbitration. Darn the judge, we just want a third party that's going to be, quote, fair to everybody. Man, y'all your doggone mind. Let's get on into the next story. God dog, Nintendo, y'all jokers are, man. Oh, man, y'all never cease to amaze me in a wrong way. But let's get into the story that I got from WCCF Tech. Now, this is more of a small update for Project Orion, or what is known as Cyberpunk 2077 Part 2. Now, this info comes from the creator of the Cyberpunk universe, Mike Pondsmith. Now, this brother, he actually made the roll of dice game, the original joint. Like I said, he created the original board game, but he talked to TV Gry, spelled TVGRY, TV during the Digital Dragon 2025 event, where he revealed even though he's not as involved in the sequel, he gets to see scripts and talk with various people working on the game. And what he has learned is in the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077, it will feature a second city outside of Night City, which he described as having the feel of, quote, Chicago. Man, listen to this. Chicago gone wrong, end of quote. I guess, giving the city a less of a, I guess, futuristic kind of feel. I mean, man, Chicago, oh, man, O Block and everything else. God, dog, this should be very, very interesting. Now, he didn't say it was Chicago, literally, but, just kind of said that it has that feel of Chicago gone wrong. Wow. I'm laughing because, man, Chicago a tough place, man. Man, it might be a little bit wrong right now, God dog. I mean, Chicago is one of those hard places, that you don't want to be caught on the wrong block per se. But yeah, this is interesting. I'm real glad to hear that the game is making progress, having a second city, possibly being less futuristic as Night City. Could be very amazing, which also says to me, man, this game is probably going to be expansive. The original Cyberpunk was pretty big. I didn't beat the original, but it was pretty big from what I had gathered. It wasn't a small game by any stretch. So if you're talking about adding a whole nother city on top of Night City, yeah, this thing is going to be crazy, but I'm glad that they're doing that because it shows that they're trying to continue to move forward with the progress of the game, making it bigger and possibly and hopefully better. Because CD Projekt Red, that's another fantastic group of developers. They really do fantastic work. But let's get on into the next story that I got from Kotaku. So I'm not sure how many or if any have been into the Space Marine Warhammer 40K franchise. But for me, I guess the first game I'll be playing, like I told y'all, is Space Marine 2 40K. But if you wanted to take a step back down memory lane for the first time, or fifth time, the original Space Marine, once released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, is getting a remastered version of the game that will feature 4K resolution options, remastered audio, modernized controls, complete UI overhaul, etc. But despite all that, you know what the coldest thing is about this? It's two things. One, it releases on June 10th, June 10th got Mind's Eye. I don't know. Mind's Eye might be a little shaky. I don't know. Hopefully they can bring it together. But that's coming out on May 10th. And now you have this game coming out on May 10th as well. And second, and like I said, man, Xbox been getting some good news, man. Second is only available on Xbox and PC. No PlayStation 5 version has been announced. And third, as a bonus, as to why this is so dope, is this game is also in that infamous Game Pass. Dog! Dang, Xbox! God dog it! Oh, this is mean. Oh, this is mean. This is so crazy. Where was all of this a couple of years ago? You would think these jokers are fighting for their life right now. Here it is. They are man, Game Pass is stacked. God, dog. And y'all know I don't even like that service. But man, it is impossible at this point in time to say that service is man, it's worth every penny that they are charging. This game is day one in Game Pass, and it's an exclusive. Oh my gosh. Xbox, God dog. Oh man. Sheesh. Man, if that Series X wasn't so much darn money, I probably would pick it up. I ain't even gonna lie to you. If it wasn't $700 or $600 some change, I can't afford that. If it wasn't so much money at this point in time, I'm saying to myself, dag. How can you not pick up an Xbox if you got the money and get Game Pass? I tell you, I don't want to. Man, these jokers making it hard. They're making it real hard for me to keep fighting against what Game Pass does. They are making it, not extremely, not yet, but they are making it very uncomfortable for me in a good way that Xbox is just doing these things. Man, they are out there performing. Golly. Here it is. Doom just came out on the joint. South of Midnight was on there a little earlier in the year. Avowed came out earlier. Ninja Gaiden Black is on there. And now, doggone Space Marine. Jeez, be Christmas. With Ninja Gaiden, whatever new Ninja Gaiden is coming out at the end of the year. And then Gears of War Reloaded is going to be on there. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. Is this the great, man? Shucks. Man, this has been a phenomenal year for not only Game Pass, but Xbox. These jokers are performing. You hear me? They are performing at a high clip. Darn, why the world y'all had to raise that joker to $600 plus. I ain't got it. But daggone. Xbox, wow. I continue. It seems like every other week we're reporting on something going on with Xbox in a positive light. These jokers, man, oh man, they are really, man, they putting PlayStation to shame right now. And I own a PS5. And I will admit, oh man, this is a tough pill to swallow, god dog. I will admit, man, oh shucks. I'm I'm getting just slightly a little jealous over here, just a little bit, man. I mean, listen. You can only look at something for so long and you're like, man, yeah, okay, they got that off. That's cool. Yeah, they got that. Who cares about that? But man, when your platform ain't performing at the same clip, ooh, man, you start feeling a certain kind of way. And I will say, man, Xbox God dog. Shout out to y'all, man. That Game Pass, man, is looking real. Listen, you got to give respect where it's due. And Xbox is, man, these jokers performing, man. I mean, look, as a fan, man, look, man, I'm pretty darn proud. I'm pretty darn proud that these jokers are doing as much as they are doing. And I don't even have anything to say, but, you know how some people say something like, I'm proud of them, but nah, I don't have anything to say. These jokers are doing their thing. They are doing their job. And my goodness, they are doing a darn good job. Listen, I don't want to harp on this too much longer. Xbox, man, just continue to do what you were doing, because listen, if I get a couple dollars, I can come up with a couple bucks, man, I might have to come on over there and come see y'all, because man, y'all showing up and showing out over there. God, dog. But let's get into the next story. Oh man, darn. That's right. The Xbox great news, man, continues. These jokers continue to shine bright with more amazing news coming way of Game Pass. Now, Microsoft has announced Retro Classics with Game Pass. Now, this is a collaboration with Antstream Arcade to bring over 50 classic Activision games from the 80s and 90s to Game Pass. Now, it's going to include platform sections from Atari 2600. That's where the guy started. That's where I started from. It's got MS-DOS games over here. Man, I had to be, Zork or something, like way back in the day. Amiga is going to be on that. Golly, I remember the Amiga 500. Remember that? I never had it. A buddy of mine did. And it's going to even have something on PlayStation. It's going to have a PlayStation section as well as a Super NES section as well. Now, the one dope thing that I like about this is that for the first time with many of these games, you'll be able to save your progress, which was something you couldn't always do. Now I'm referring to like Pitfall. Even though Pitfall, I never understood what I was doing in that game necessarily, jumping over the 3 crocodiles on the back of their neck, trying to make it over the vine in the water. I don't know, but some of these games you weren't able to save, like I said again, from the past, but you'll be able to do so now. But the other thing that is so dope is they'll also have, and it's being reported that more games will be added monthly, expanding the collection to over 100. And if I'm not mistaken, this feature is available right now for Game Pass holders. Oh my God. Oh my gracious. Xbox, God dog it. Oh my gosh. I can't take it. Man, I saw this announcement. I sat there. My jaw was dropped on the dirt floor. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Here it is. Y'all getting all of these games. They're in Game Pass day one. Now you got an exclusive coming out in Warhammer. It ain't on PlayStation 5. And now you come with these Activision classics. Golly. It's going to be over 100 after it's all said and done. You're adding a monthly. It's included in Game Pass. I'm like, God darn it. Xbox, gee whiz. Phil Spencer, I don't know, brother. I mean, listen, man. Gee, man, you keep on working. I might owe you an apology one of these days. I'm just hoping. But this is the beauty. This is the beautiful part of competition. We all need this. Here it is. Sony PlayStation is chilling right now. These jokers sitting still, man. I mean, I know they ain't sitting still. I mean, I know they working on some things, but man, your competition is out here ripping and running all of a sudden. I'm sitting back and I'm like, man, God, dog, every week these jokers doing something. Well, I ain't gonna say every week, but darn, every month they got something good going on for the last, man, since this year started. Here we are in May, and it has been nothing but positive Xbox news outside of that price hike. God darn, that price hike is crazy right now. But I mean, that's the tariffs. It is what it is. But gaming wise, oh my gosh, man. These jokers have been killing the game right now. I mean, I'm sitting back and I'm like, wow. I mean, you take it all in, what they have done this year, Xbox as a whole. Man, why would you want Xbox to go away? Why? They're doing great work right now. These jokers are performing. And I can't take it away from them. Like I said, I'm sitting over here. I'm a little jealous right now. Just a little bit. At how great they are doing. I'm jealous a little bit, but at the same time, I'm so darn happy. I'm so doggone happy to see Xbox out here doing what they're doing. It's darn amazing, man. It really, really is. You think from last year, the show that they had last year, June of 2024, up to this point, it has been night and day. Night and day, man. At the things that they've been doing, I have just been very, very impressed. There's been some bumps in the road going on down there. Don't get me wrong. But man, man, shout out to them. Good grief. I'm not gonna harp on this any longer because I feel like I've done enough. I've had you guys here long enough. Shout out the glove box. I know what you always say, brother, but you know, I want to be very respectable of y'all time. And I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but I'm just sitting here in real time, man, just taking it all in like, wow, Xbox is really, really doing a great doggone job, man. They're doing a darn good job. And the thing is, this last story, and I don't want y'all to think it's a jab. It's just the way I wrote it. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm trying to take away everything that Xbox did. But I wrote it, unfortunately, like this. But we're gonna get into the final, you know, to the last story of the week, and I got it from IGN, and it's a situation where Xbox they lost another exclusive. Now they lost another exclusive to their rival platform. It's PlayStation. You know, here's the official announcement. It says, quote, "The team have been working hard to optimize H-Blade 2 for PlayStation 5. Well, I guess that ain't really a bad word. Hellblade 2 for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro to give you the very best experience we can. We look forward to sharing more details with you soon." End of quote. Now, as far as when the game will launch on PlayStation 5, that hasn't been revealed yet, but it's being said that it will release over the summer. Now, also for Xbox Series owners, these, quote, extras will arrive on the console and the other platforms as a free update. So here it is, man. PlayStation, you know what? How, man, PlayStation, some of your saving grace is actually coming from Xbox. I mean, listen, y'all got Gears coming out this year, and y'all got Hellblade 2 releasing on the console. Y'all been dry, man. Y'all ain't been carrying your weight. And having these two games releasing on the platform, it is so bittersweet for me. It is so bitter sweet for me. It's bitter because I don't want Xbox putting a darn thing over on the PlayStation and vice versa. I don't want PlayStation putting anything on Xbox. I want these jokers fighting at all costs 24/7. I want y'all rivaling against each other hard so that we can get the most for our money. But the sweet part is I don't have to get an Xbox to actually play these two games. I don't have to get an Xbox. It is going to be on my platform. Oh, man. Oh, golly. Listen, man, this is not a dig against Xbox, but I mean, listen, they're giving it to the platform. I will happily give them my money. Y'all know I wanted that play Hellblade 2. And shout out to Mike J for actually giving me the article to actually read it. Shout out to you, brother. Yeah. I didn't even know this was happening. But man, listen, I've been waiting on this one. I've been waiting on it. They talking about, man, the graphics is beautiful. I know they're beautiful. Ninja Theory is an awesome studio. But here it is. I ain't got to buy the Xbox to get it. And then to sweeten the deal, to sweeten the deal, the other thing that was mentioned by Nate the Hate is a Starfield will be announced this year and released this year on the PlayStation 5. So that's another reason why I don't have to get an Xbox. Oh, man. Starfield and Hellblade 2 in 1 year, and Gears of War and Forza in 1 year. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. Forza, Gears, Hellblade 2, and doggone, what's the last one? Starfield. Oh, man. Gee whiz. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. But again, why am I laughing? I'm laughing because, darn, it's like Xbox has been doing amazing. I'm not taking that away from them. But on the flip side, you got this craziness that's going on. You got two pillars coming to the rival platform this year. You got doggone Gears and Forza that are going to be there by the end of the year. Then you got H-Blade 2 that's going to be there, and possibly Starfield all in 1 year. PlayStation, this is the fear. This is the fear. They got all these games possibly coming out on their platform. These jokers are not going to see a reason to get out there and compete. They're going to have us waiting on The Last of Us Part 3 to 2035. We mess around with Sony long enough. The next God of War, man, 2032. I mean, I just really feel like this can go completely bad for PlayStation when they got all of these games coming to the platform and the regular third parties also bringing their games out. My gosh, I don't know about this, but anyway, for the sake of time, that's going to do it. That is the end of the gaming news this week, which I don't want to waste any time in getting into the final section of the podcast, which is the question of the week. And I want to thank you guys for being here. It is always greatly, greatly appreciated. But let's get into it because I know you already saw it. But have graphics hit a ceiling? Now, the reason why I'm asking this question is because earlier this week, I want to pull this up. I actually saw a very, very interesting article, excuse me, that really had me questioning, wow, have graphics really hit a ceiling? And it actually comes from gamesradar.com, and it pertained to Death Stranding 2. The technical director says that the jump from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, quote, isn't so great, end of quote. So I want to get into what he actually said about this. As far as the jump from PlayStation 4 to 5, he says the most ambitious, and this is a quote, he says the most ambitious improvement from a technological point of view is the reduction in loading times. But to be honest, the difference between the two hardware systems isn't so great. It's more a case that on PlayStation 5, there are more efficient ways of arriving at similar goals. Having said that, our artists are less restrained to create the world without having to come up with level workarounds. But of course, this freedom has had knock-on effects and technical challenges for the programmers. In some ways, it's created an environment where the artists are now out of control. End of quote. So again, according to him, it's not really that big of a leap. Yeah, in some areas, you're able to do a couple of workarounds. Things are a little bit more easier. It's more effective, more efficient. In some ways, but overall, he's like, nah, it's really not that big of a jump. But also just to back this up as far as, I guess to add a little bit more credence to it, about possibly graphics, actually hitting a ceiling and things not getting, to that next level that we're all hoping for. Actually, what's his name? Ex-PlayStation boss, Sean Layden, he actually had this to say. He said, quote, we're at a point now where the innovation curve on the hardware is starting to plateau or top out. At the time, the commoditization of the silicon means that when you open up an Xbox or PlayStation, it's really pretty much the same chipset. It's all built by AMD. Each company has its own OS and proprietary secret sauce, but in essence, it's the same. I think we're pretty much close to the final spec of what a console could be. End of quote. He said also, he was saying, quote, you're not going to see another PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 jump in performance. End of quote. So with all of that being said, do y'all think that we are at that mark where graphics just can't get any better? That we're at the ceiling? I mean, because it's times when I look at some of these games and I'm like, wow. It may not look like it looks very realistic, but sometimes when I'm looking at TV, at times I'm like, darn, that game actually does look very close to what I'm actually looking at on real TV. It's kind of wild. You'll see you can see pores on the characters now and their faces look so realistic. It's actually crazy to look at, man. So I'm just curious to know, in your opinion, do you think we've hit that plateau as far as graphics hitting the ceiling? I will say this. I don't think we're quite there. I think we got a little bit more to go. And to his point, Sean Layden, he didn't say we were there. He did say we're nearing the end of, a console just not being able to do much more than what it's already doing. And I have to agree. I don't think we've hit the ceiling yet, because even going back to PlayStation, I don't know, PlayStation 4 that Joker was a beast. It was a beast. I'm just thinking about The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man. Oh, yeah, that Joker was, oh man, that thing was beastly. I don't know. I'm curious to know. I really do want to know your thoughts. Again, have graphics hit a ceiling? I want to hear from you. If you want to be a part of the conversation, please, by all means, email the show. The email address is simply the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. And if you don't want to email, if you don't want to type, and I know I owe you your emails. I got you, Cody Clark. I got you, brother. I just have not been able to do them lately, but I'm going to have to make a real effort to start doing them again on Wednesday, because I just can't, incorporate them into the podcast because it'll just be so much longer. But if you do want to be a part of it by calling into the show, you can do that as well at the new number, which is 667-284-9057. I was your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and as always, thank you guys for being here. It is always appreciated. So with that being said, before we tie this thing up and put a bow on it, always remember one thing. It is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until possibly, that's going to be next Sunday when we do it again. Until then, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.